What's going on, y'all? It's episode 24 of the Merce and Nurse Show. And if you're watching this, then you know that we've missed 1 week.
We missed 1 week because of the Merce.
What are you talking about? No, so just because I had to work and she got off on Friday, and I'm like, hey, you want to record?
He doesn't know how
She's
to
not here. She's gone.
Multi-handle things.
Oh, okay. But you know what? No, I had a backup epised planned, ready to rock
By
and roll.
himself, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah. And
not going to happen.
And per our contract.
I would have gotten our lawyers involved. It says we do not put out. Well, I wouldn't know how to do it and use all this stuff.
Yeah, no, she wouldn't. So she'd be lost.
I'd be doing a live.
Facebook Live. It's Facebook talking to yourself, right?
What did I do? Oh, because Friday we went and saw George Lopez.
Yes.
Shout out. So that's what happened.
Yes, and then I got off, and I worked the mid shift Saturday and Sunday, so
Yeah.
I got home at midnight.
Yeah. So
night.
yeah, we just couldn't connect.
I mean, I would have happily stayed up, but I come home, she's and just out of it, and I'm just like, okay.
I'm old. I'm not used to driving home at midnight on the highway. Then I couldn't even eat my Whataburger because I was scared my husband's going to hit what are those called? Those little on the side.
The concrete barriers. Yeah,
the two of them. And I just kept saying, I'm going to die. I'm going to die.
Dude, nope. I mean, to be fair, Dad, whenever you do listen, because you know Dad listens to every single one of us.
Shout out to my husband, Ed. He's our number one supporter.
But no, he does drive a little crazy. I will say that.
Yeah, he does. I just couldn't even, I was eating my burger like this, just looking at the road. I didn't know if I was grabbing ketchup or fries.
Oh man, but no, so this is episode 24, guys. It should be coming out July 31st. And so we're gonna be in August.
Yes, tomorrow is the last day of the month.
Yeah, and it's 31st tomorrow. Then
school's going to be starting here in Seguin in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. And then we should close on a house about 2-3 weeks.
House. Closing a house. And then we have a different office. It's not going to be our kitchen.
Yeah, so about maybe 2-3, I would say end of the month. Let's say maybe next 4 episodes.
Yeah.
You should see a new office, actually colored walls with actual like photos.
You're going to be hearing dogs barking in the background because Noah's getting his dogs back. They were being fostered for six years. Noah's dog
Thank you, Becky and Jerry.
Yeah.
Thank you, my wonderful in-laws.
They were being fostered for 6 years. They're going to be like,
I wonder why.
Where are you taking us? Because my husband's eyes swell up like he got bit by a bee.
Oh man, but no. So I found like this little interesting topic. So we had 2 weeks of work without actually talking about.
Yeah.
So how's it been at work? The jail.
Oh, the jail. I got told off for the first time. Normally, I get I respect them. They respect me, but. The other day, this guy came out and we passed meds, and I personally write the name on the cups. Like, for example, I'm just throwing names out there like Alpha, Smith, Gonzalez. I do that, but you check the wristband. You always check the wristband. So this guy come out. I'm going to say his last name was Smith, and I had a cup that had Smith, but he didn't look too familiar because there's like 400 inmates.
Yeah.
And we take turns doing different halls. And I said, I saw his name Smith. I glanced at it and I said, "Oh, Smith." And I said, then I stopped and I said, let me see again. I said, "Oh, no. I said, you don't get medicine." But he just came out and he goes, because and he said some choice words about me. You effing nurse. You don't even know what the hell you're doing, blah, blah. And I was just like, and the officer's an older guy and he just had the door open. He was like, why is he doing this? And I said, shut the door. I said, and don't come back out no more. Well, that pissed him off more. But yeah, I was like, well, that was that. And then this other guy, because you can get videotaped if you want. I check his sugar. But there, and just think, I mean, guys, I'm just learning that just because you're in jail, you're very needy and you want things done your way. I mean, it's just with the job, right? Yeah. So anyways, this man came out and I checked his sugar at about 10 because they eat about 10:30 lunch. And it was dinner time and it was like, I check him about 3:34 and he goes, "You almost killed me." Oh no, he pushed his button he needed the nurse in there. And I said, what's the matter? He goes, you almost killed me earlier. But there's just, you have to remember some of them, they don't care. And they're rude, they're ugly. And I said, and of course we had the video camera on the whole time. And I said, what do you mean? Yeah, my sugar was down at 25. I said, who checked it? I'm the only nurse here. Well, because you did. And you gave me the wrong insulin. So now what I do is.
But you didn't though.
No, he got a little bit of R. But he said, this is what he said. He was outside. I am Hispanic. I'm old school. He was outside. It's like 100 and some degrees here in Texas. So he comes inside, takes a cold shower. And he's telling me this. Remember, I was outside of work. I came in, I took a cold shower. Well, I laid down for a nap. I woke up and my throat was hurting and I had a little bit of chills. We all know sometimes, my mom has always told me this. Sometimes we take
it's just a Hispanic culture.
Yeah, and it's like the heat does it, blah, blah, blah. So, and I said, well, what does that have to do with me giving you the wrong insulin? Like, you got like literally like 2 units of R. And he was like, yeah. So then now what I do is I have the insulin. So I'll say, okay, your blood sugar, I'm just making him a number, 160. I look, he has his own
sliding scale.
But his own. So I go, okay, you get 3 units. You want that. And then at dinner time, he gets 6 in. He doesn't even get a lot of anything. Yes, give it to me. So I point to the camera. And it's funny because it was an older man and he didn't know how to handle me because we've never done this. I point to the camera and I'm like, you got that? You got the 6? So that I'm opening a new insulin needle and I was doing all that. Okay, you got that?
So you were being petty.
Yeah, but I'm doing that.
I'm fine. 100%.
I did.
Go for it.
That way, if we go to court, they're gonna be like, well, that nurse showed everything she used. I don't know about the other ones. And so so the other day they get something called a Johnny Sack when they're on insulin, and I take it to them about 8:39. So they eat early, and then they have that, and it's got 2 bologna sandwiches. He's a diabetic, a little milk, and a little apple. So they're just in bad moods. I have to remember, they're not gonna always be in good moods, and they're just ugly. They're just ugly.
To be fair, they're in jail.
Yes, so. And he's behind a private door, so he don't see nothing, hear nobody, whatever. So he comes out, he gets up, and he gives me his sandwich. Look at this sandwich. I'm gonna get food poisoning, and where the camera's on, so he makes it more dramatic. So I said, sir, I don't check your food. I just go get it. I don't open your sandwich up. I don't touch it because. Then if I said, oh, I looked at it. Oh, you did my food. So long story short, he goes, well, I can get food poisoning. I can do this and this. And he was just being real petty. And I said, okay, do a grievance. Well, who did I send it to? I said, send it to the jail minister. I don't know. Send it to somebody. Because they do look at them. They will. And I said, I don't know, but start there. So he goes, and then on the bag, it has the date. So it said like the 27th, we're the 28th. And look at this date. And I said, yeah. It's the 28th. They made it yesterday, and they make them all hours. They could have made it 8:00 at night. But I feel like saying, and I know this sounds bad. Do you think you're gonna get real fresh deli Oscar Mayer bologna? You don't get whatever you get. And I love bologna, and I'm sure people have eaten bologna. It's gel. You got 400 some people. You're on tax dollars. You gonna get what you can get. And so I still did him like in my head. I'm thinking. Do you want me to make you a fresh sandwich when I come? But anyways, I was like, okay, that was a
okay. Well, let me tell you this. I mean, I know you've told me the stories of before of like you have a lot of people inmates that are holding to go to a mental health facility, right?
Yes, there are.
So that brings me to what I really want to talk about is I don't know if most of y'all know this, but we don't have as much state hospitals like you knew how like the shows implied back then, like what am I thinking of? What's the movie with Michael Myers? Remember he was in the asylum?
Yeah. He was just like in a hospital.
In the asylum, I'm talking about we don't have these asylums anymore where you see the everyone in the white scrubs, take care of all these people and see, what I'm saying?
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. You really got to see that with Nurse Ratched. Like you're always, like so you have a bed available. I mean, immediately.
We don't have these huge insane asylums.
No,
well,
we don't.
I don't know they call it. Well, I guess politically
correct. They're now mental institutions, but back then they were like insane asylums because a lot of them they're not treatable and they'll be there till their death. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So, but so we in Texas we actually have 9 state hospitals.
When I read that article, I did not know that. As big as Texas is, I did not realize that.
Yeah. So we have 9 state hospitals and 1 one adolescence for kids. that being said, I see, especially in ER, so many people coming in through, with their own mental illness, that's going on. And, like we try to get the help. We go out, we cross all the T's and dot all the I's.
Yeah.
Get them to these facilities. They're calling everybody, every single facility. And we're talking about private facilities. We're not even talking about the state hospitals, private facilities, because, they're calling six at Laurel Ridge, like all these small, Georgetown, the small ones, right?
Yeah.
Because it's all private. And so some people have insurance, some don't. Well, they call them because we need to find a place for them because they're having a psychotic episode.
Yeah.
So, and we can't keep them in the hospital with us.
Yeah.
We can't manage that.
No.
And so what do? They go to these places, and some of them, I believe some do get the help they need, but others are the frequent flyers.
Yeah.
They come out, they get, because they go to these institutions, they get back on the meds.
Yeah.
They mellow out, and what happens? All right, they're gone. They're free.
Yeah.
And then when they get home, they either miss the med, they stop taking it because they don't like the way it makes them feel.
A lot of them are like homeless to begin with, and they go back to the streets.
And then they get off the meds again, and then now it's a cycle. It's an unbreakable cycle. So we were talking. I was like, there's so much money we give to all these, to these countries, to all these other programs in the world. My philosophy has always been, take care of your own before you worry about outside the borders.
Exactly.
And I'm not talking about, just, I'm talking about Mexico.
No, you're talking about other countries that we give millions and millions to.
Yes. And like I think to be able to take care of others, you need to be able to take care of your own.
Yeah.
And there are so many people that need the help.
Yeah.
And so that being said, an article was really crazy. So it says out of the 9 state hospitals, San Antonio has one, the state hospital.
Yes.
They have a wait list to get in there.
Yeah.
There is more than 2,500 people in the county jail in San Antonio jails that are just waiting because they're deemed they need to go get a psych evaluation and then to go into a mental institution.
Yep.
Over 2,500.
Yes. We, as a matter of fact, we have this lady we just got, and they she's been there like 1 or 2 times because I know her. But it's sad. So basically, she has some mental illness, and it doesn't help that you're smoking the synthetic stuff.
Yeah.
So, but her charges are just. I mean, they're not. They're not like behavior or just anything bad. They're just drugs, but which is still bad. But I'm just saying, like, compared to other people, and they're like, "What is she doing here?" Like she should. Like her mom was taking care of her, okay, but they did a warrant roundup or something. But she talks like she has Alzheimer's. She's young, and so they're trying to get her out. So what they're going to probably do is get her out like on a bond, let her mom get her, because the place they want to send her, she's like the 224th person on the waiting list. And when you say waiting list, it's not like okay next. When someone goes in, they're probably there for 6 or more months. You're just not going to get better after a month. And so it's sad.
Yeah, and like it's so in the article I was reading from San Antonio report is saying that there's extreme staff shortages in the state psychiatric hospital that is prolonging this jail time because I mean there's not enough people to work at these state hospitals to take care of the influx of people that they're getting. Yeah. So Ronald Singer was arrested and charged more than a year ago for the murder of his ex-wife and the kidnapping of the child. He still remains in Denton County Jail all this time. And this article was about 6 months old, so almost 2 years, going on 2 years, because the judge found that he was mentally incompetent, and he can't go to his own defense. So they want him to go to the state hospital to get evaluated and medicated, but he is one of the 2,500 mentally ill defendants that are in a similar predicament that are just waiting in the county jails. People are waiting for over years until they even get into the hospitals, all because of shortages. Yeah. Even though the state has poured millions of dollars into upgrading the state hospitals, they're still saying we may have the facility, but we just don't have the people. There's not enough workers to manage all of these people.
Yeah, because
over the past 20 years, the state has reported an increase of over 40% of people who are found mentally incompetent to stand trial. Now, that statistic, makes you think, are they playing the system to that, or are they really actually, really mentally not capable of standing trial? But the biggest thing is there's no workers. Nobody wants to work in the psych units.
And coming from us being nurses, I mean, you see, what you see in the ER, what I see in the jails, and then towards the end at the nursing homes, we got a lot of younger psych. It's exhausting.
It is,
and I don't want to say like, oh, give me more money, but it is exhausting. Like you come home and you're like, okay, like
I know, like it's hard because there was one patient who she was in a manic episode.
Yeah.
To where I don't, with bipolarism, when they go into that manic episode, they a lot of them pace a lot. You know what I mean? Like, constant, just back and forth. Like, if they will make tracks in concrete pacing.
Yeah.
And if you have 4 patients and you have one patient is actually psych who's in an episode of mania, you can't leave them alone.
No.
And so now you're pulling resources from everybody else.
Like at a hospital, for example.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the ER. Like, so you're trying to find, and so you put them in, in their one of the rooms closest to the nursing station, and they want to come out, because I've seen this at Laurel Ridge.
Yeah.
They have big open rooms and they just pace all around.
Yeah.
And they pace back and forth in the nursing station like this constant. So on some of them. And like some of these patients, you can't have that in the ER, just pacing back and forth.
Exactly.
You can't, because you're in the main hallway where stretchers are coming and going, EMS is coming, so you just can't.
No, of course.
But when there's nobody there to take you, you're like, now what do we do?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's interesting that I really believe that there needs to be more influx of tax money to go into these state hospitals to help, bring more workers, have an incentive program to get them in here, or better facilities is what it is.
Yeah.
Because sadly, there are some that are just so, mentally ill.
Yeah.
It's not curable. You know what I mean?
No.
Like they're never going to be quote unquote normal for society.
Exactly.
And they're going to be there for the rest of their life.
And I thought I read in the article, it said mental ill people, their crimes are more, they can be violent.
No, 100%. Yeah. Yes. It says that even though at the beginning, the full-time employees for the psych hospitals had about almost 6,000 employees with about 1,800 vacancies. Mm-hmm. Before, they used to have about 800 beds, and now they have to build up to about 2,300 beds. And but because of the low amount of people, they have to take about almost 1,000 beds away. Yeah, because there's nobody there to take them. But then it talks about like the impact on the jails. Yeah, because what happens? Well, they can't go to the state hospitals, so they go. At jail, what happens? The jail gets full. Y'all get stressed out because you have so much more inmates versus what y'all can handle. Yep. Especially, and I'm just talking about just inmates in general. I'm just talking about the meds that you have to prescribe to all the extra people, more bodies to take care of. But then what happens? Sometimes you've heard it before that the jails, it gets overwhelmed. They start letting people out on lesser charges, right? Yeah, and that does happen. So what happens? So they let these sometimes people out. They're just here because they're mentally ill. Sometimes they let them out, and they do violent crimes. Crimes, or they just get back in the cycle. Yeah, they get arrested. Yep. And where do you take them? Take them to the ER to get checked out. Yep. And they haven't been on their meds. It's a cycle. Yeah. And I know they have a lot of programs. Like, for example, when someone leaves and they're taking psych meds, they got a mental illness. We have a local what do you call it? Like the MHMR here, it's called Blue Bonnet. So what they do is they can go and they already have like the records of but who does that? Very few people, because we get some and they're like, oh, my records are there, and they kept up with it, but very few. And I can say from a jail point, when they go, we do have a psychiatrist that they
that he comes, he'll come on certain days, and so the judge has him see people to see if they're competent or not. But it's a process, and then everything's always paperwork and stuff. But they do that. But like I never realized that, like in jail, like now that I'm seeing stuff. So they do have that. We do have a psychiatrist, but he only comes like on Friday. So I mean, because he has his own practice.
Yeah.
So you can only, and like when he comes on Fridays, he'll start from 8. He'll leave like at 12:30. He could probably see maybe 30 people, which isn't really a lot because he takes time with them. Yeah. Okay, you can hear him talking. So, and you got 80 more people on the list for the next, and sometimes you're like, sorry. And then like we had this one guy, an example, and it broke my heart. He was in the service for years. Wow. Young guy. He had PTSD, and so he got arrested for something petty. But you know what? I mean, you do the crime, we got to come in. Yeah. And he kept saying, "Ma'am, I need my meds." He would tell us. And then so one day I went to his cell. He goes, "Ma'am, have you heard anything?" Because it's not like I can just put him on something. It's a process. He has to see the doctor, the psych, or if he goes to the I have to get the information, what you're on. I have to verify you're on it. They can't bring meds in.
It's a freaking a workload. Yes. He has to go through all the hoops.
Yes, and so people think like, well, why can't he just give him his meds? So anyways, I went to his cell one day to give someone else in their meds, and he came out. He goes, "Ma'am, I'm going to lose it." And apparently he had seen one of the soldiers that went in the barracks years ago. No, I'm sorry. He got out a year ago. Before he got out, he committed suicide, his friend in front of him. Yeah. And it messed him up. So when he came out and the cry for help, like, "Ma'am, I'm going to lose it." And like fight something, it was bad. We got him out. We put him in this certain room he can be in. And, it took about maybe a week, and we finally got him settled. And he's been on his medicine. And he looks better. He'll tell us, "Thank you," or, "I need my," but it's not that easy.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Like you said, I mean, think about that week, but that's only, he's in jail.
Yeah. And he knew what meds he had. What about these other ones that are
like, think about it, like how many other people are out there that, they don't know it. But people think this is just how they are. But actually, they actually have a disease.
And it's sad because, I'm not going to knock the families either, because we have this one guy too, and he was in the military, and I don't know what happened, but he probably had mental illness, and so his mom calls and she's like, and I just feel for her because there are families that do care. But what does she do? He's older. He's 30. She was telling me a little bit, you can't keep your kid in your house this whole time. Yeah. You can kind of like follow his progress, what's going on. So it's like, it's not like you can keep a mental illness person in your house. And as a matter of fact, in our neighborhood, in our Facebook around here, the neighborhood over there by Barnes, they had this lady just on the site, Mom de Seguin, just said, be careful. She had footage of him. She was walking with her baby during the day like she normally does, and noticed this younger guy, early 20s, just suspicious. Yeah. So a neighbor came out and she's like, hey, started walking with her, talking. They went to her house. So she had a garage door open. She ran in and then they closed it. Well, the guy was in the front door trying to open the garage door, and she has footage from the ring. And so she put it out. So I was reading the comments, and someone said, oh yes, his mom said he has mental illness, but she can't. She's trying to get him help. And I totally understand that. It's not like she can go drop him off here and here. Some people will drop him off at the hospital. You may see him one day the parent probably thinking, oh, the hospital can do things faster. They can expedite it, which is farther truth. But I'm saying that's scary. What if he would have done something to her? You know, but I'm sure the mom hasn't given up on him.
No,
but you can call and call.
But I mean, it's everywhere. It's hard. Like, because nobody wants to, put the work in for. I mean, like these workers, there's not enough people to work these cases. There just isn't.
Yes.
I mean, that's the biggest thing. Like it's like, right, like at the hospital, like past Sunday, we got slammed. Mm-hmm. We had people waiting for over 7 hours in the ER.
Yeah.
It's just, why? Because everybody just wanted to come in that Sunday. We had like 20 people in the lobby, and they're all getting mad, like, waiting for so long. We're like, well, we'll start. We have people over here who actually,
of course.
I mean, it's just how it is, right? Yeah. But, why? Because we're a small hospital. Well, exactly. We're a small county hospital. But we talk about this. We say, this hospital is going to have to grow.
Yes.
It's going to have to, because of all the subdivisions that popped up. Dude,
yes.
I swear at least an extra, 5,000 people got here?
Yes.
within the last couple of years.
I mean, you have your little urgent cares. We have a lot of urgent cares, but that's more for like,
but no,
strep, strep. I'm gonna be like, I'm having a heart attack. I'm gonna go to urgent care.
No, but you go urgent care. If you tell them if any heart issues, they will just direct you back to us. I had 2 people went to urgent care because they're like, yeah, I didn't want to go to ER. Yeah. I'm like, oh, thank you, helping us out. But they're like, oh no, go.
I'm an AFib and I can't breathe.
No, seriously, but I mean, urgent care can only do so much. But then it's just ignorance that people need to education. They need to understand that what's ER versus what's urgent care. Like broken bones, hey, go to ER. Yeah. If it's a sprain, if you feel like you twisted, you probably just go urgent care. Well, I mean, like people need to know that. That's a whole another subject for another day.
Near drowning, go to the ER. Don't go to the urgent care. No, but
aspirating water, go to.
No, but I agree.
Yeah,
but
urgent care, they can stitch you up, right?
Yeah, they can do X-rays. They can do all that. Yeah.
Go
they can. Yeah.
But if you need like to get sewed up, but your thumb's facing the other way because it's almost falling off, come to the ER.
Go to the ER
just in case. We had a guy come in because a ladder came down and his thumb, dude, ripped his whole thumb down. I
don't know how you see some of the stuff. I would have been like, my face. I'd be like, They would have been like, what, miss?
Oh, dude. Yeah. Hey, did you hear about that car crash in Seguin behind the hospital?
Yes.
Behind the hospital was.
Oh yeah, like where the
Mr. Flores. Where Mr.
Yes,
right
yeah.
there.
I heard that.
So there was it was a yellow Hummer, I believe. It was a Hummer. It was 2 San Antonio teens. They were.
Makes me wonder what they were doing down here.
Dude, they were just flying, and apparently they swerved. They hit a power pole, and then a tree. Hit a tree, then a power pole.
Yes.
But they all were dead on.
Yeah, they're like he was like 19, she was 14. It kind of makes me wonder why she was so young.
19 and 14.
It was late night,
and
right?
The dog. Yeah, it was at 9:30 at night.
Were they not wearing seatbelts, or did it just? I've seen wrecks.
Tree.
You can,
and they were just pronounced dead on scene. So my guess is they hit that tree really, really good. But it was right behind the hospital.
Yeah. Oh God.
But what's insane is for those who don't know this road, it's a small road.
Yeah, the windy road.
30 miles per hour.
Yeah. If you're local, you know. If you're local, you know you got to be careful on there.
Yeah, and he was in a big Hummer, so you would think how fast or what must have happened? Either no seatbelts or how you must be going really, really fast.
Yes.
To hit that tree and kill all of y'all. Even the dog died.
I'm like,
damn, even the dog.
Okay, I'm not trying to be funny, but like today I saw this car from our subdivision. We were leaving, and he was making a left. I was making a right, and the dog was so pretty. It was kind of like a mid-sized black one, and he's just sitting up in the front seat, just like a human. And I'm like, do they strap them in? That little dog, he had the window half down. He like a human. He was just looking around.
They sell like
I know, but I'm like, what if he slams real hard and he?
Well, I was saying no. They sell like a harness and you can actually hook it up to the car seat.
Because he was such a cute dog, and he was just like in the front seat. And I said, hope that guy don't break. I'll do a brake check at somebody.
Send him flying.
Go out the window.
Well, since we're on the car wrecks real quick, you hear about I-10, the guy that was hit in the highway. So it was multiple vehicle crashes. It was an I-10 right here at the highway on us guys. So it was the driver was in a single vehicle collision, and he pulled over right because it was an accident.
Yeah.
Well, he got out, and 2 other vehicles they crashed into him as he was walking on the highway, killed him.
Why did he walk on the highway?
I don't know. If he was in the accident, I don't know if he was just trying to get around, but
God.
It was at night. It was at 10:30.
At night.
Yeah.
Oh.
But this is something from firefighting side is if you're in a car accident on the highway, get off the highway as fast. If you can drive off, get off the shoulder. Or get out of the vehicle if you can and get in the grass.
Because some people don't pay attention, right? I can see that late at night.
Think about all the accidents you hear about. The officers getting hit from behind.
Yeah.
I mean, they have flashing lights. That just shows people don't pay attention.
Yeah.
I mean, but if anything, stay in your vehicle because that vehicle is going to protect you better than you standing outside in a car smacking into you.
Speaking of crazy drivers, we were going down right here, 123, and anyways, there's lights, and as we're going, right there past the high school, there's like the little turning, you know how you come around the little bend and there's already 2 lanes and they come and they have to wait to get on.
Yeah.
This guy, I mean, driving crazy, like literally got in front of Dad and we're like, and like just driving fast. And so we all got to the light, and it's like my husband's like, "Oh, he's at the light." I said, "Let's make fun of him." Well, he turned to the right, like, like he was going like towards Luning.
Yeah.
Made a U-turn and got back on the highway. And I said, darn, I'm going to do that when I'm late. But what I'm saying is, and then we had M and we were somewhere in New Braunfels, and this guy did a crazy, I don't know, people drive crazy. Yeah. And it's people's fault that they are wrecking. It was so scary. Again, I told Ed, this is the second time this weekend we've seen something that could have been bad.
We almost got hit by 18-wheeler.
When?
Just right now.
Oh, okay.
San Marcos, yeah.
Says it all calm, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know how like at where Target's at?
Yeah.
So on San Marcos,
yeah,
we're going to the outlets.
Yeah.
There's the bridge right there, right?
Yeah.
And the bridge has a U-turn. The turnaround.
Yeah.
So we're going passing the dealership, and this 18-wheeler just came straight. And it's a yield for him because it's a turnaround. Well, he just took off, and we slammed and pulled over so we wouldn't get hit. Yeah. But I was thinking, I'm like, man, I could call Jim Adler. I could pay my house off.
I mean, sure, it takes about a year or two, but you can get that check.
I got the money.
What was that other one? What is that?
The Texas the four called the fours.
Yeah, 444 Adler. But anyways, yeah, but that's yeah.
People are crazy.
Don't pay attention.
Oh man, well. Like I say, guys, thanks for sticking with us. It's been fun. Like I said, I love doing this. Next couple episodes, I mean, you never know. Maybe next episode may be in the new house or not. But I just want to leave us with something before we go, like I do every single time, is when you get tired, learn to rest, not quit.
I like that.
So I would say for nursing in general, you can get tired a lot.
Yes.
You can get tired, not just physically, but mentally of doing what you're doing. But find a way to rest. Find something that eases your mind to deal with what you deal with, but just don't quit, because don't forget why you deal with what you do.
Yeah, and everyone's entitled to a couple bad days, so
yeah,
everyone feels like that. When Noah read that, I said, "When you're feeling tired, I said, go to sleep."
Oh man, well, thank you for staying with us, y'all. Have a great day. Enjoy the week, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.
Bye.